All right, apologies for starting behind schedule due to one or two unforeseen circumstances, but we are here now. Good morning once again. 6 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side. It is, and this is Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. The powers and the people, and politics is what we address in this hour. And so you best also want to give your ears, give your eyes, and give your hearts and your intellect as we dissect into the planned electricity tariff hike in Nigeria. I mean, the issue at hand is the planned increase in electricity tariffs in Nigeria, which has sparked controversy and debate among stakeholders. I mean, the federal government has announced that it spends 200 billion naira per month on electricity subsidies, which benefits the wealthiest 25% of Nigerians rather than those who truly need assistance. The government is planning to introduce a targeted subsidy system to ensure that low-income households receive the most. All right, so even though that has been the issue, right, it is also very necessary to point out the fact that the Nigerian power sector has indeed been plagued by challenges such as inadequate funding, inefficient management, and lack of investment. I mean, the sector has been characterized by a lack of transparency and accountability, leading to a decline in public trust. The current administration has made promises and more promises to reform the sector and improve power supply, but the planned tariff hike has sparked concerns among consumers. There has also been, a clarification by Oluverjin, who has come out to saying, who is the special advisor to the president on energy. Now, he had maintained that the planned hike is not a 65% increase. That's what he says. At first, there was this talk as at yesterday on the front page of Nigerian newspapers that there was a planned electricity tariff hike to the tune of to about 65% tariff hike, right? But the special advisor had come back again to retract his words, saying, no, let me clarify. I did not mean the 65% increase in electricity tariff. But he says that it is rather a rate adjustment to reflect the cost of supplying electricity. Now, according to her, the current tariffs cover approximately 65% of the actual cost of supplying electricity, and that the government is working towards a targeted subsidy system to support low-income households, right? So the planned electricity tariff hike in Nigeria is as a result of government's plan to increase the tariff to reflect the cost of supplying electricity. Okay, so the current tariff is about 116 naira 18 kobo per kilowatt hour, and the proposed increase would bring it to a higher rate. Now, the special advisor to the president on energy, Oluverjin, stated that the current power tariffs need to rise to reflect the cost of supplying electricity. Now, the increase is intended to fund the maintenance necessary to improve reliability and attract private investors into the power generation and transmission. Okay, well, we'll give just a story of a Nigerian, and we'll put this, a consumer in Lagos. We'll put this, together and get to allow for you. A consumer in Abuja now. We'll put it all together so that you get to also hear what Nigerians are saying right there. But the planned electricity tariff hike in Nigeria has sparked, concerns. We already know. I mean, consumers are already talking. You and I have been talking about this. Just only yesterday, we saw the telcos, tariff hike, the 50%, which it was stood at, and the NCC, given a backing to it and justification for that. The NLC had said, oh, you know what, we're going on a protest for that. And funny enough, they got into the House of Reps, member or committee got involved into that, discourse, called the various stakeholders together, and got them talking. And after that meeting, of course, the late hour of yesterday, the NLC shelved the protest, which was billed for today. And that alone has brought some controversy too, as well, as quite a number of Nigerians are having divergent views, as regards to that. Elder or Naja now, Honorable Edwards this morning was saying, what, there's no talk about the electricity tariff. What is exactly going on in there? I mean, are you guys going to come and have a tea party again just to gist electricity? What is wrong with having that conversation once and for all? But then reactionary, some would say, proactive, some will say, well, step in the right direction, others will say, but ill-timing, others will still say. I mean, there's a lot of angles to it, but then when would it stop? When does it stop? When does it really stop? For example, a consumer in Abuja had reported that she's currently paying 50,000 naira per month for electricity, and the proposed increase would bring her bill to a higher amount. Even though Virginia said, it's not an increment by 65%, no, as was earlier, mentioned, that now it is rate adjustment. And I'm thinking to myself, is it not one and the same when you say rate adjustment and you're saying that, at first you said it was 65%, and now you're saying, no, you didn't mean 65%, you meant rate adjustment, that already we are on the pedestal of a 65%, coverage as it stands right now. But this particular family member, Nigerian, of course, who is in the place of anonymity, saying, hey, 50,000 naira was what she spent monthly for power, for electricity, and the proposed increment, whether it is rate adjustment or it is 65% tariff hike, whatever it may be, that she fears that this would bring her bills to a higher amount. And keep in mind, somewhere at the back of your mind, the 70,000 naira is the minimum wage that has been approved by the federal government already. And in some states, I can confidently tell you that they are paid 60,000 naira. Oh yes, that's it. In the bid to conforming with the directive of 70,000 naira, some states are paying 60,000 naira now. We don't know. I don't know for sure why exactly that is, but if you ask them critically, they tell you, we're removing this tax, removing that tax. That's when they know how to remove these taxes. Yeah. But anyways, let's leave that for another day. Hopefully, myself, Omoefe, and I would have that discourse, in properly. But then this particular Nigerian is stating that she's unable to afford the increase and would have to find alternative sources of power. And as at yesterday too, we also heard, some Nigerians, even yesterday after, the discourse we had in the morning, some Nigerians saying that, look, you know what, the way it seems now, it seems like there's going to be a lot of fraud from the part of consumers, right, for a bypass, which is not something that is legal, because if you're caught, you might be there might be a backdating of your fine that you will just pay enormous amount of money. Now, please don't. All right, but then cases like this, issues like this, are what might want to push some Nigerians into saying, whatever it may be now, it seems everybody is trying to see how they can gain one way or the other, and they don't care about the feelings of those who are indeed using this power generation for their businesses and how it affects their businesses and all of that. We will just do a bypass. Right. And it will shock you this time that the bypass that used to be something hidden might begin to be something in the open. And I'm just hoping that we don't get to have, a situation where we will start having, calls about, a face-off between citizenry, consumers, and the power generator, generation officials and all of that. But let's get into the discourse with our guest, who is none other but the political emancipator, right? We call him the Right Honorable Daniel Atai. Is a political activist and emancipator. He says he is the voice of the people, and he is on here to do justice to this discourse. Hello and good morning to you, Right Honorable Daniel Atai.
Good morning, Eagle FM and Woodward.
Right.
How is everything doing?
Very well, thank you. Right Honorable, as yesterday we saw 65% tariff hike planned by the federal government. And as of today, the special advisor to the president on power had come out, and as Oluveje has come out as refuting that claim, saying, well, that was not exactly what she meant. That what she meant is that there would be a rate adjustment. And Nigerians are even asking, what exactly do you mean by a rate adjustment? 65% increment tariff.
Mr. Udwa,
Yes, please.
I would want you to spare me the analysis.
Okay.
You see, I am almost getting tired of talking about the Nigerian system and the economy. Our president is a rich man that knows nothing about poverty. Even before he became governor, he was already rich. And not to talk of now that he's president. I think over 45 or 50 years ago, the man knows nothing like economic things. He knows nothing like what the street looks like, what people, homes are going through, families are going through. While I admire his democratic courage and some policies, I would strongly advise him on tax policy. And I would strongly also advise him not to be like Nicodemus, this short man in the Bible, the tax collector.
Zacchaeus, right?
Zacchaeus.
Mm-hmm.
So that he would not regret at last, where he might not even find the people to refund the taxes to. You know, at least Zacchaeus repented and said, since I have met Christ, the people I have defrauded directly and indirectly through tax, I will give them 10 times whatever I have taken from them. I pray that should be the situation now, that the president, President Tinubu is now the president. And I think the people need to have this relief that a man, a Democrat, a man who struggled all his life to come to power to better the lives of Nigerians like he did in Lagos, to ensure that people have succor from pains of economic hardship. He condoned those things while he was outside the presidential corridor, or the corridor of power, in terms of leading the entire nation and not a state. He condemned, he fought for the masses. I want to ask Mr. President, was he pretending in all the struggle he did on the street? Some of us, we followed him. Him at one end, Ganifa and me at the other end. This man that passed on, that he took his policy to implement, and Viola at another side. We knew these guys as patriots that would better the economic affairs of Nigerians. Let the poor break Let the common people, the masses breathe. Let people belong to the country and let them be proud of Nigeria that they are citizens of this country. The economy is not built anywhere in the world from the blood of the citizens. I say from the blood of the citizens because people die because of penury. When the hardship becomes so terrible on the masses, a lot of them die. Because you have to substitute your money for either for electricity tariff, telecom tariff, productivity tariff, and what have you, premises, tariff from premises. Even if you go to farm, bringing your agricultural produces out, the bad roads, and the police officers that are taking small cuts from producers, farm producers on the road, making things to be so high, especially agricultural produces, and this is why we have food inflation. Now, I have begged Mr. President in one of my shows on AIT last year. I said, you have removed subsidy, and that is from the PMS. And when the subsidy reinvestment has been channeled to governors, senators, and House of Rep members to be palliative to citizens or their followers or their constituents. What do we have? That alone become partisan. And people who are affiliated to their political parties are the most beneficiaries. What are we talking about? What is the trajectory, the economic trajectory that will emancipate the citizens from the quagmire of penury and poverty? The poverty rate is high, and subsidy removal contributed almost 90% to the level of poverty that citizens are right now. And then I gave an alternative solution that aside palliative that is given to governors to distribute to their state indigenous and citizens and to the Ministry of Humanitarian and whatever disaster management, you have to use some system like the electricity in the past. So, as a succor, you can even remove or give free electricity. Free electricity to citizens is very, very possible. Come on. We do know that the electricity generation, the power sector, and the private sectors who are generating this electricity, we know that it is government bureaucracy. Even if electricity is going to be privatized the way it has been done, we know that any government that cares for citizens' welfare will prioritize the supply of power and even subsidize it for citizens. Alas, here we are. Buhari came, his administration talked about Siemens from Germany that they are going to ensure that our power generation output gets to how many? Is it 7,000 megawatts or what do you call it? That never happened. They tried to give free meters to households, and we were registering and we were getting free meters. But as soon on the tail end of his administration, the corruption again struck and they started selling these meters. And then we don't know how the power, the supply, like in my village where I came from, in a local government of Benue, the whole month, like I said the other time, we would only get power for 8 hours. I was a councillor then. I used to calculate the hours. Then just bring it and take it. Bring it and take it. So when our flashing epileptic power supply becomes power supply to people, Households and businesses, small scale businesses died up. People ran to the town to do businesses. Business, simple entrepreneurs like barbing salon or hairdressing salon, they are packed off. Packed off. Now you are creating unemployment because of power, inadequate power, or non-availability of power at all. It is a dangerous trend. And now you are talking about hiking power after hiking tuition fee, after hiking removing subsidy from fuel. What do you want, Mr. President? What has God not given to you, Mr. President? You have been governor, you have been this, you have been senator, you have lived on taxpayers' money throughout your life. Why can't you give back to the society? The same society that built you, Mr. President. You are a good man. Your political policies are germane. We have not seen the implementations of those things. And all you have been doing is to inflict pains. You are inflicting pains on citizens. Mr. President, we want to beg you. Let the citizens breathe. Let the citizens feel the impact of your administration. Let them be free. Let them have economic succor. It is important that we tell you, not the way you were telling other presidents. You were hard on President Obasanjo. You were hard on President Jonathan. You were hard in a way on President Buhari. I will say it is your turn. And because we said, okay, this man that said it is his turn, we really come and better the lives of Nigerians and make citizens happy and make citizens proud that they are Nigerians. How can you remove subsidy from petrol and we are grappling with that? Yet you remove subsidy from the dollar, the exchange rate. You remove, now you are removing subsidy from power. Nigerians will rust. Even if followers don't complain, don't go on the streets to protest, or don't create riots or whatever, because they are patriotic citizens. You too, you have to be patriotic leader. You have to give back to the society.
All right. Well,
what will Nigerians?
Yeah.
What will Nigerians benefit from the administration,
all right.
Mr. President?
Right, honorable.
What are we going to benefit?
Right, honorable.
Yes.
Yeah, right, honorable. Let's look at some of the issues. One of the things that you mentioned was the fact that there should be free power or electricity to Nigerians. But then some would also rightfully come in to interject you by saying that, look, the moment some of these things, especially power, becomes free, there will also be the place of abuse. And at that point in time, there will not also be regulation regulation in this regard. And it might make the entire system chaotic. But let's just point out some key benefits. I mean, the government is claiming...
Before you point out these key issues,
yes,
let me tell you something. Nigeria is very large. Nigeria have all it takes to even give free education and free power supply.
but Nigeria is poor.
Our power generation must not be hydroelectricity. The government has what it takes. We have sunlight. And we are one of the countries that can even that have enough refuse and dumping ground where we can generate bioelectricity. Mr. Udwa,
Yes, please.
if the country wants to invest in power, it should not be hydroelectricity anymore. Because you can see the sabotages that have been happening with our national grid. Those were deliberate sabotages to frustrate power generation. And for those who lobby for contract, to continue to have the contract for the electricity grid, the national grid. What am I talking about? If we are diversifying from oil and we are talking about
CNG. Okay, right.
yeah, not polluted energy.
Okay.
We can do bioelectricity. We can generate solar electricity. We can generate power from a lot of things, and the government have that capacity. Let me tell you, why private organizations began to generate power, you should know that it is because the government failed, not because the government can't afford to generate power for all households. Growing up, we met this thing. Under Shagari, we met this thing. Under Ibrahim Badamosi, we met this thing. At least we were having 15 to 16 hours constant power supply in a day. If you have 16 hours straight power supply in a day, we should be able to do some industrial production. We should be able to do some small scale businesses before we close and go home. The economy will be viable. Livelihoods will be easier. When you take petrol from people, and people are buying at the cost of 800, 900, 1,200 in Benue, for instance, we are buying at 1,100, 1,200 black market. In some filling stations that belongs to the federal government, we are buying at 970, 940. And this is what we used to buy at 40, 50 naira, even when Mr. President criticized the government of administration of Jonathan. And so, if you have criticized the government and say the power, the fuel subsidy, the petrol must go back to 60 naira or to 40 naira, and your own administration has taken it to over 1,000 naira, and you are still collecting taxes, indirect taxes everywhere, telecom taxes, now power taxes. We gave you a solution. Now look, if you subsidize power by half, which he implemented, I don't know why he's going back. It's when he gave him the benevolence or the patriotic giving back to the people that he initiated. Why all the? I'm so tired of. I am absolutely tired of the Nigerian factor, the Nigerian system.
All right.
It is the citizens of the country that are paying through their noses, that are paying for the government to function.
All right,
the government is not doing anything to better the lives of the citizens. Yeah. And it is absurd. It is absurd in a democratic system. There is no dividend of democracy that people should be proud of.
Right, Honorable. Let's look at the subsidy benefits. I mean, the government is claiming that the current subsidy benefits the wealthiest 25% of Nigerians rather than those who truly need assistance. And it raises questions about the effectiveness of the current subsidy system and the need for a more targeted approach. I mean, the planned increase in electricity tariffs, whether it's 65% or as refuted by the special advisor and power there, Oluvei Jane, talking about an adjustment. I mean, as an adjustment according to what she said. It brings concerns among Nigerians who are already struggling to pay for electricity. The government must try to balance, the need to increase revenue with the need to protect vulnerable, consumers. But then, if you also look at it, the government is planning to introduce a targeted subsidy system to ensure that low-income households receive the most support. Some believe it's a welcome move, but the government must ensure that the system is effective and efficient. Now, the one that quite a number of people have been talking about is about metering. Government now is announcing plans to accelerate the rollout of prepaid meters to addressing the issue of estimated billings. Though a positive step in the right direction, but there is also a need for the government to ensure meters are affordable, because it's not just about metering. There's a place of affordability and accessibility to all, consumers. But let me also bring in some of the statements of stakeholders. Oluvei Jane, special advisor to the president on energy now, said the current power tariffs need to rise to reflect the cost of supplying electricity. That's what she said. Now, Sunday Odoton, executive director of the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, says only customers on Band A pay the true cost of electricity, while the government subsidizes the cost for other consumers. In fact, there is an answer that says even the band A's, do they indeed have the power for the amount of hours that has been allocated or what that is due for them to have? Well, it's still a question in the, in discourse. And then finally now, Adeola Samuel Ilori, coordinator of the Electricity Consumers Protection Forum, is saying the planned tariff hike is unfair to consumers and we will challenge it in court. I mean, all of these angles to the same one discourse. You said you're tied with with the Nigerian factor. I'm urging you not to be tired. But then, if you say you're tired too, how do you think that would also rub off on the listener, the family member who's listening right now? How would it also rub off on us as a community, as a people, as a nation, as a country? In also forging the way ahead. Well, I'll open the phone lines now. Let's hear from family members. Then we'll have your thoughts in the discourse. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. The other number is 0908 766 8888. And the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. The planned electricity tariff hike, of course, which of course the special advisor, to the president on power has also come out to saying, well, I know that earlier on it's been in the news that 65% has been pegged for it. Oh no, that's not the case. The case is that there is only a meter adjustment. That's what's going on right there. That's what we'll be looking into. So please don't quote me out of point. Okay, I'd rather rate adjustment, rates, not meter, rate adjustment. And a number of persons are saying, hey, what a rate adjustment or 65% in a tariff hike. Isn't it just one and the same? Isn't it just changing the nomenclature and all of that? There's not been any serious explanation, on that. But let's go hear from you now. Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, please.
My name is Udokam from Otako.
Udokam, or talk to us.
Which thing are they going to have the tariff? Because I know that when I do my business in Otako, I'm using solar energy, which cost me 1.something million to install. Why AEDC still collect their monthly NEPA bill from me? You see, are they being fair to us? What are they giving us as a government? What is the government providing? If you of this government, I will ask a question: is government providing security for us? Even at your home and in the market, you pay for security, private security. You provide everything for yourself, and they still want to tax you again. Now we are complaining that even the one we are paying, we are not enjoying it, and they want to hack it again. Are they being fair to us? Look at this communication tariff they are about. Sometimes I will call, I will not hear what the next person is saying, and they will charge me for it, and government is doing nothing about it. I don't think we have a friend. I think we have people that are just fish that want to benefit only for themselves and their family, and why the masses will die and perish.
Okay, I appreciate. Well, Dokama right there. Giving his thoughts, very deep, thoughts from Udokama right there. But you also want to add your voice to it. I mean, there's a lot that Udokama had really expressed, in that discourse, saying he runs his business on solar, and yet it's being billed still. He still pays the ADC, according to him, even at this point. And one question he has asked, which I believe, just hold on a minute, Right Honorable. One question he has asked is, what have we really benefited? And he said, is it fair how we're being treated? Well, let's just go hear from another family member. Then I'll get with you. Good morning to you. Morning. Yes, BB Blessing.
Calling from Otako.
All right, BB.
Our caller today and go to man of Max. Our best.
Right.
You really they ask you a question now. You ask about say Nigeria no has money. Nigeria no has money. But if Nigeria no has money, they are renovating their house. Nigeria no has money, they are buying plane and that. Nigeria no has. They are using our money to travel up and down. They say Nigeria no has money. Now we are still paying for life when we make the use. We are paying for darkness. According to our first caller, we benefit anything. Go to Jotako here in an area where we did and again that the whole matter yesterday team. Now we are this water by ourselves. No water, no good road, no school, no good hospital. What in Nigeria is benefiting? What poor people they are benefiting? You they tell us say we no have. Who tell you that we no have? Who tell you? Money for oil, where the money is entering. Money for our fuel, where we dey pay, where is the money is entering. Money for when you dey load every where they deduct your money, do you know that they comot the money. Where is the money is going? Money when they tax, what they say, all the marketing people, where money is going? Money when they pay for toll gate, where the money is going? Money when driver come out they pay, where is the money going? Where are they using the maintain all their maintain so for driver when work? I think there's a benefit in how they after. You know what this matter? He said this government, these people, this government, when we they may call the government because we are inside the government. He said this is our politician. He don't mention the government. He said this is our politician where they come. They this is PC where they come. They come and wipe our money, our sources, our country. And you know this? Why is Ameti saying that? Because he didn't saw the business before. He know what is happening. He knows that we cannot benefit anything. Then China he come out to say this comment they come and steal our money and to come and kill and move away. Now when we are with the best out, what is done better? What is done change? People as they make us a people they have matter. They say we can no solution. So to win them down, what do we do now when solution? Go to the market now. Tell you say me around to the price. Yes, I 6,600 now. I tell you for this lady. Nobody do the word again. Go to the market. Go to the price. Sorry, the farm money. Go to the price. I want that 50,000. 130,000. Can't go right. Because they are going to the dogmeat to go and pick what they will eat. Nobody. We are wishing our credit up and that. What are what we do for this country?
All right, baby.
I think better to the deposit. At least now they don't there today. Any person. Senator when they go out for outside country, make the seller, make they go do something at home. I know what they go use the money to. When they go carry the money, go ahead to, or they go get.
Okay,
I know what to say. Bye bye.
I get that, baby. All right. All right, that's a lot. Now, right, horrible. I mean, this is.
You can see the frustration of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will continue. I'm in the government. I will continue to appeal to Mr. President. You see what is happening to our Nigerians in the U.S. right now. While our leaders may not see shame in that, I can tell you emphatically that it is as a result of economic hardship that Nigerian citizens have become immigrants all over the world. And it is sad that our productive capacity, our intellectuals that left this country, they added to the economy of other foreign nations. And they made those nations, their economy, viable, productive. And they are now being deported. Our ancestors were chained from Africa, taken into slavery in Europe and US. Now, our own generation are being chained like slaves from between Europe and US back to Africa. Because over centuries, we have failed to build our nation. It is appalling. It is very, very sardonic as well. Government should be about the people. If you know the history of how governments were formed, it is to give better livelihood to citizens and to make law and order so that society can thrive in peaceful coexistence and harmony. What do we have in Nigeria now? Why I'm very, very angry is because Mr. President himself has been a product of struggle, and he has made it to this height which is the highest height any man would want to attain in life. And when you attain such truths, like Tupac Idibia would say, power is nothing when it cannot be quality education or quality livelihood to the people. And these are the people that you came to power to lead, while taxing them here and there. The electricity generation in Nigeria, for instance, have been a kind of epileptic in nature. I don't think in the past 30 years, 3 decades, that Nigerians have had 24 hours power supply in this country. And in the past 40 years or so, Nigerians also do not have metering. Normally, all households are supposed to have free digital meter, even if it is analog meter, so that the power generators, the private entities that are now in charge of power, which we know are still politicians, because it is bureaucracy, just to take government enterprises into their hands. We are supposed to have constant power supply. Every household has meters. Corruption have it now that is the one they call flat rate. Whether you consume or you don't consume, you pay flat rates. And if it is the adjustment, which I know I've read all the analysis about today's topic, and I know that even if it is metering an adjustment in meter, we still want to beg that any plan to hike power tariff should be put to stop immediately, because we are already in pain, and I can say pains in plural form, because the pain from subsidy removal of PMS alone, the pains from dollar exchange, the pains from tuition fees. Imagine school that you will go come out and you still have to look for job for yourself. You are paying through your nose to be educated in Nigeria, when these guys themselves, they have free education, free everything. What kind of nation is this? What kind of citizens? And that is why you see corruption everywhere. Corruption may not stop so long as the poor cannot breathe, and the rich will continue to manipulate the poor. If the government is the government of the elite and not for the masses, then so be it. Look at our electoral system. We can't even decide who leads us, because the INEC, I don't know, we never follow their guidelines.
Right.
We are not even having digital voting system. Everything is still analog. Yet, we say we are in a democracy. To me, this is not how to lead a country. This is not how to build trajectory for a nation. I do not see any blueprint of growth. The manifesto that Mr. President came with was very, very enticing. Even the manifesto he showed to his party APC and gave to Buhari was very, very enticing. But where are we now?
Right, Honorable.
Are we following the manifesto?
Yeah, right, Honorable.
We are absolutely not following the manifesto.
Let's put it back to your thoughts. Let's take this call. Let's take this call.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
My name is
Yeah, Elder Naja, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
I spoke well, but he did not touch the head. If you go to hospital now, if you don't have money to buy card, you die there. And then if you have money to buy card, they will call it pay consultancy for doctor before doctor see you. If you don't see that money, you die there. And then if the doctor, you need to doctor place before you talk, will recommend you test. Doctor will give you up to 5 tests, 6 tests. If you don't want to do that, you die there. I don't know. I went to ask my brother. You think Tinubu is Medeco? Why you don't allow Babangida to sleep in the agents of Medeco in America? Agents of Babangida government basically until Babangida is power to take over. You see the same thing now. Tax. All they have mentioned the name of Zacchaeus in the Bible. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing we will know. It's about of petrol. You have great opportunity to come as a leader in this country. All their promises they have abandoned. I don't know how politicians they are very wicked. Look at Buhari. Electing where we elect so this is my president again. I don't know how politicians use it. Okay, chameleon. Thank you. God bless. Yeah, thank you.
All right, appreciate though for that one. Well. Right, Honorable. Let's get to the WhatsApp and see what Nigerians are saying there. I see Turkenby Hundu from Nasarawa State. He says, I greet your guest. If anyone had told me Tinubu's government will make Nigerians pay for everything with our blood, I won't have believed. Tinubu is claiming to be carrying out economic reforms that will benefit Nigeria in years to come. My question is, must Tinubu use the blood of Nigerians to build reforms? We can't wait to change this government by next election. We have a president who wouldn't listen, who doesn't take advice from Nigerians, a president who doesn't feel our pains, running a government of I to know. All right, taking Bihundu right there from Nasarawa State. He's saying that. And we cannot take any more calls, but I'd like to put a cap on it, even if it's just 1 minute, Right Honorable.
Yes.
Where are we going with this? Yes.
What I want the government to do, during the administration of IBB, they built all those hydro power plants that we have today. And I think Jonathan built some too. And Mr. President can build solar plants all over the country and borrow electricity plants all over the state. Even if it's possible across all the 774 local governments, so that at least let there be alternative power supply from this hydro electricity and this privatization saga, where their bureaucracy is almost like the fuel subsidy remover. Let citizens breathe. Let's have dividends of democracy. Let's be innovative in the power sector. The power sector in Nigeria, when Fashola was there, before he came in, he said Nigeria is going to power the entire nation. And the same way he was going to build roads across the country. When he came in, he said anybody that will give power solution to Nigeria, it will be like a dream. He said it, that to power Nigeria entirely and to building roads will be like a Herculean task. This was the man that promised heaven and earth when it comes to power. But when he was given saddled with that responsibility, he couldn't do anything. So, is it international bureaucracy that we are going to blame? Are we still going to blame that on IMF directive or World Bank directive? What is going on? Are we going to continue to enslave our people economically? Because already Nigerians have been chained economically like slaves in their own land, and something has to be done drastically. That will be my take this morning.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Edward, for having me.
Appreciate you. Right Honorable Daniel Atai, for adding your voice, in the discourse. I mean, Udoka Ma from Mutako is also saying, do you know that we buy transformer and poles by ourselves and yet keep on collecting, and they keep on collecting monies from us?
Okay, you can imagine that.
It's really sad. It's really sad, and yet we're talking about a reform and all of that, and yet we are talking about attracting, foreign direct investment and all of that in the power sector, as well as encouraging stakeholders and other people, well-meaning Nigerians, to invest in that power sector. But I believe that with the points that you've made and every other family member has made, it will be very necessary to point us in the right direction at this time, and even in the years to come. Well, thank you so much, Right Honorable Daniel Atai. You're a social political activist, an emancipator, And of course, the voice of the voiceless, appreciate you for this one.
Thank you.
Right. And yes, to each and every one of us, Turkenby, Udokama, BB Blessing, Eldor Najer, thank you, far too kind. I mean, the discourse is not wasted. It is a discourse that will continue. I still see more calls coming from you, but no, we cannot go any further. And it will not stop here. We keep using the platform to ensure that we become that force of change in ensuring that we get the better Nigeria as the days go by. My name is Udwak Daniel.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
This is Eagles 102.3 News, your number one radio experience you can count on.